That was supposed to be way less disgusting. But I hope you like that opening because I got nothing else. Hey everybody, I'm Autumn. If you don't know who I am the supervising producer of Inside Gaming. You may know me as the editor of Inside Gaming. You may know me as the editor for Sugar Pine 7. You may know me from SourceFed from way back in the day. I decided I wanted to start making content on my YouTube channel. Honestly, a huge reason is now that I'm managing a channel, I really miss editing. And I figured, you know, like I should just start making my own stuff to edit instead of relying on other people to give me things to edit. So really quick before we get into the video today, which is going to be a Q&A where I pull questions that you guys asked me on Twitter and Instagram. I just want to quickly lay out like what to expect from this channel, what kind of content I'm going to be making. I don't actually know yet. I kind of on a whim on like Thursday, Friday decided to just make a video. I am going to try to make a video for every Monday morning, so hopefully that continues. Bruce and I are also like moving into a house right now, so hey, what up, girl? My setup is currently like really shoddy and terrible. It's like 1,000 degrees in this room. My camera is on top of a humidifier, so we're doing great here. I don't know what I'm gonna make yet, but you know, hang in there with me and we'll figure that out. Also, I just want to quickly say thank you to everybody if you're watching this video. I really appreciate it. I know a lot of you have been around for a long time, whether you know me from SourceFed or you know me from Sugar Pine. I mean, a lot of people follow this channel when, as a joke, Funhouse put me in their like channel friends or whatever. Hence this amazing matte painting video, which isn't actually a matte painting, by the way. It was the base that I used for my matte painting, which is actually on this channel, but it's privated. I have a lot of really terrible privated that I will never make public. Maybe I should do like a sub goal or something to make some of those public. Thank you guys for the support and let's get into the questions today. All right, so I split these questions up into like hard hitters and fluff. I will kind of try to do both. I'm gonna start with a hard hitter because I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long. All right, first I'm gonna answer this question from yet another cog on Twitter asking, what are some challenges you face as a female games journalist? This is kind of an interesting question because honestly, I don't consider myself a journalist at all. I never have. When I took over for Lawrence, I actually refused to take over the editor-in-chief title because I'm not a journalist. I asked to take on more of a producer title because that's a lot more accurate to my skills and what I do for a living, which is film-related things, not journalism-related stuff. So yeah, my actual title is supervising producer. I do all of the production management. I basically just make sure everything's going out on time, everyone's doing their job, just that all the cogs are turning pretty much. But, you know, being a female on the internet is difficult. I think, to be honest, I've had maybe an easier time of it than other people that I know because I haven't put myself out there as much as other people. Oh good, my phone went off. I have for sure gotten my fair share of like weird comments saying that they wanna rape me because my head looks greasy. But I don't know. Honestly, that stuff doesn't really... Shut the f up. You're embarrassing me. Honestly, that stuff doesn't really affect me that badly. I have never in my life commented on a YouTube video of a complete stranger and said something terrible about them. So I have to assume if you're doing that, so I'm assuming if you're doing that, you're probably either 12 or you're an ass. Either way, I don't really care what you say, so it doesn't matter. I have kind of a follow-up question to this though that I think is more something that bothers me and why I've kind of not like ever wanted to put myself out there very much up until now. And this is also from Twitter, the OGVA asking, how do you compartmentalize your feelings about gross men sexualizing you in the Inside Gaming YouTube comment section? Yeah, I don't like that for sure. That is the one thing that bugs me. I'm doing my job. I'm not really here for people to tell me that like I look hot and they want me to sit on their face. The first Sugar Pine video that I showed up in has like over 1 million views or whatever now. And a lot of the comments are like, oh, she was only hired because she was hot. Hey, I'm like, okay looking. I'm fine looking. And also B, I started off in traditional media. I started off as a television commercial editor, and when I moved to LA, a lot of the jobs were just in YouTube editing. I don't know, if you see me in a video, just maybe understand I'm just trying to do my job and I don't really care what you think about my face. I mean, look, if you're sitting there saying like, oh my god, she's so pretty, I'm not gonna complain about that. That definitely fluffs up the old ego. Don't talk about anything sexual. It's weird. don't do it.
Don't do it.
All right, speaking of sugar pine, let's take a question about sugar pine. Oh no, that's all the water I fucking inhaled like an idiot. All right, this question is from CMAC Mason on Twitter. You still okay with the official Sugar Pine 7 gang? I love the guys for sure. There's like no bad blood, but there was a lot of things that happened, and I think it was a really intense time in like all of our lives. I feel like the bond we shared at the time, particularly me and Steven, it was very centered around the fact that we were working a lot. Me and Steve would be at the office basically all day. There's kind of a lot there that I am a little resentful of, and it's not because of any of them. I think we were all trying our best, but we were all pretty young and inexperienced, and like we'd all never started a business before. I was the only person working there for a long time who kind of was just support staff. I mean, I left Sugar Pine because I burnt out so hard. I think by the time the streamies came and we won, that was like the peak of my burnout. Literally that day, I had stayed up all night the night before. I left the office at 8 in the morning the next morning. Someone had broken into the Van Nuys office that night. While I was there, thankfully, someone was with me in the office. I woke up in the morning, I walked outside, there were cops. I'd heard alarms going off in the night. I think it just is such an allegory for that entire time in all of our lives. It was so weird and hard and scary. And I went home and I took a nap up until I had to leave for the streamies. I Ubered there so I could sleep in the car. When I got there, I immediately got very drunk because I was consuming a lot of alcohol. I don't want to say it was a full-blown alcohol addiction, but I was drinking too much for sure. It's so hard because that night when we won that award is like one of the best nights of my life, and terrible all at once. Like I see pictures of myself and I'm so skinny and I look exhausted, and I don't know, it's hard. So there's a lot of feelings I have about my time at Sugar Pine. I think that people pick up on that stuff, but I love the guys. Like, we experienced something that not a lot of people get to experience together. It was really special, and I'll never forget that. And they're like brothers to me, and I don't think that'll ever change. Oh, that was a long one. We'll take some fluff ones now. You know what I'm saying? All right, this question is from Twitter. Johnny was Blue One asking, what's your favorite album of all time? I'm a huge music person. I think anyone who's a big music person hates this question because I feel like it changes all the time. I think an album I always think of is Reflector from Arcade Fire. I think is an amazing album. I'll take another music question because somebody else asked me. Ellis Kieran from Instagram asked favorite Swans album. It was To Be Kind. Filth is maybe like a close second in there. However, I saw them when they were doing the Glowing Man tour twice. I know people say this, and I don't mean to say it lightly, but it was truly like a spiritual experience. It was amazing. So I think Glowing Man has taken my top of Swans albums. If you don't know who Swans are, listen to them. You're either gonna hate it or you're gonna love it. If you hate it, it's totally fine. If you love it, welcome. Welcome to the Michael Gira fan club. Michael Gira signed my Glowing Man album, and when I met him, I was so nervous. I had this like backpack bag on, and I was walking over to him. I dropped the record. I bent down to pick it up. My shoe somehow got stuck in my backpack strap, and I tried to stand up and I fell. Oh man, it was really bad. He was just standing there like, what the is going on? All right, let's take a personal question now. This is from Jenna Caruso on Twitter. Love you, girl. She asks, how has the wedding planning process been, especially during COVID? Good God, okay. It has been awful. So if you don't know, Bruce Green and I are engaged. We've been dating for almost 3 years now. We got engaged at the end of December, beginning of January of this year. Bing. Can I show that off? Oh, it's like really out of focus. We were planning on getting married on Halloween of this year, actually, and we postponed the wedding. We basically don't know when we're going to have it now. It's kind of just indefinitely postponed. I would feel really weird, and I know Bruce would too, having a wedding right now, just with everything going on. We both have older family members we love, and we want to attend our wedding and not feel in danger, and like, God forbid anyone would get sick from our wedding. That would be the most horrible thing, because that's something that you would have to live with forever. We didn't get very far into planning our wedding before COVID hit. We did put down a deposit on our venue, which kind of sucks, but they're being nice about it. We can move our date and they'll still honor the deposit. Small good things there, because I know people who were going to get married like right when everything started shutting down. That would really suck. And I feel terrible for anyone who had to deal with that. Sucks, but could have been worse. Oh my God, it's so f***ing hot in here. Can you see how much I'm sweating? Let's see, maybe like one more. I feel like I didn't do as much fluff as I thought I was going to. I feel like I was gonna do a lot more for this video, and then I got really hot and I just want to leave this room. For our last question, someone asked me a shallow question and a deep question, so we'll do both. We'll start with the shallow one and then we'll go to the deep one. This is from ReRelevant. The shallow question is, do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert? Anyone who knows me, definitely consider myself an introvert. I like to sit in a room and sit on my computer and not have anybody bother me. That's why I make a great editor, and I wish I was stuck in some like post-production basement far away from anybody. I will say though, I think managing has caused me to be more of an extrovert. I definitely don't feel as like tired from socializing as I used to. I actually like socializing a lot more than I used to. Now that I'm answering this question, I'm like, maybe I've kind of changed into an extrovert a little bit. I don't think you realize how much doing a job that's really out of your comfort zone can change your life and your personality. I've changed so much doing managing because I've had to practice talking to people all day, every day, being like more eloquent and being more confident in the decisions I make. It's made waves in my personal life and it's been awesome. If there's ever a job you want to take and you feel like you're not equipped for it, people are very malleable, and I would suggest taking it because you learn some new skills and you might even learn something new about yourself. Dun 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 dun. And this will be the last question that I take today. ReRelevant also asked, I'm also a Hispanic person with a white name. How does this affect your self-image? So this is really interesting. I am Hispanic. Hey Bruce, I'm half Hispanic, I want to be clear about that. My last name is Farrell because my dad is Irish, he's super white, he's from New Jersey. However, I grew up basically only with my mom's side of the family. I lived in Mexico for several years. I am like very connected to my Hispanic side. However, I look very white and I have a white name. When I was younger, this is really sad and I wish I'd never felt this way, but I do remember feeling very grateful that I could hide the fact that I was Hispanic. It was cool to be a skinny white girl, and I never was that. And I used to get made fun of a lot for like having short, thick legs and getting like really tan. I had a friend who I won't name, but she is a kind of famous singer now, and her whole thing is that she's a white girl with a huge ass, very cool. And she used to make fun of my ass all the time, which honestly is not even that big. Being a mixed person is really weird. I think you don't ever really feel like you belong on either side. I feel embarrassed talking about my Hispanic side, not because of my Hispanic side. I feel embarrassed because I don't want people to think I'm trying to capitalize off that side of myself, because I look very white and I have a white name and I know that I'm really white passing. So I try to stay aware of my privilege. I do have white privilege, but at the same time, I grew up very Hispanic and I have that side of me too. So it's hard to balance the two things. It's getting easier as time goes on, and I think that's really cool. I know that there's a lot of bad in this world right now. Can't understate that enough, but I do think that things are moving forward for the most part. I'm gonna stop the video now because I'm very hot in this room, and I also have to edit it right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really wanted to answer a question about how I feel managing Inside Gaming, because that is a whole thing as well, but we can save it for the next time. But it has been really hard and frankly kind of dispiriting. So it's nice to like make what I want in the way that I want it. I just appreciate you coming to my channel and watching my stuff. So hang around and I will have more things for you guys. Again, I'm gonna have another video for you guys up next Monday morning. I don't know what it will be yet. I'll try to let you guys know as soon as I know. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye. Should I do something disgusting again?